What's going on, guys? Roger here with QVO Tactical. In today's video, we are checking out a cool platform that we saw earlier this year at SHOT Show. If you're somebody who really likes integrally suppressed PDW setups, then this video is definitely something you're going to want to check out. Today, guys, we are shooting the Radical Defense MK1 PDW. Now, as always, I like to tell you guys how I go about getting these products in for review. A couple of years back, I was talking with Radical Defense about an up-and-coming project they had in the works. They told me about a very compact PDW system that they were working on, chambered in 5.56, and that it would be suppressed. When I inquired more about it, they told me that it was a special project for a large agency whose SWAT team had been using older MP5s from the 70s, and they were looking to transition into something that utilized 223 5.56. So with that, the Radical Defense MK1 PDW came to fruition. Now, flash forward to January of this year at SHOT Show here in Las Vegas, where we got to see firsthand the MK1 PDW in person. While filming with Radical Defense at SHOT Show, they offered to send us one of these so that we could film a video on it as well as produce future content. The gun was sent to us free of charge, and it's ours to keep, so please keep that in mind as you watch this review. Alright, now with this being such a compact platform, I do think that it makes more sense to get into the specs before we jump into the range footage, so let's go over how this gun comes configured from Radical Defense. The MK1 PDW is a short-barreled rifle chambered in 5.56 or 300 blackout. It comes equipped with the Radical Defense XPD 3D printed suppressor. It also features a 7-inch length handguard that the suppressor is recessed into, giving it a very clean aesthetic of an integrally suppressed platform. The rifle also comes equipped with the Battle Arms Development Vert PDW stock and rack charging handle. Other accessories include a B5 pistol grip, ambidextrous safety selector, Magpul vertical grip, and the Griffin Armament M2 iron sights. Guys, all of this comes to you at an MSRP of $2,000. Now, I am curious to see what these are going to actually retail for, as the MSRP is $2,000. When I look at most 3D printed suppressors, I see them in the price range of like $1,200 to $1,700. So when you take all of that into consideration, I actually think that the MK1 PDW is priced pretty well considering everything you get with your purchase. Alright, with the specs out of the way, let's get into the range footage. As always, we recorded our first rounds through the gun, and then we immediately got into zeroing the optic right after. Alright guys, out here on the range with the MK1 PDW from Radical Defense. That 6.5-inch barrel with the XPD 3D printed suppressor recessed into the 7-inch handguard is pretty cool. It gives you that integrally suppressed PDW feel. I'm going to shoot maybe 10 rounds here, just get my first rounds on range, see how it feels. This is also, because the gun ships with mil-spec trigger, so we actually installed our QVO 2-stage trigger, so I'm also getting the first rounds with that. I've just dry fired a bunch, but I haven't actually used it. There'll be a full video on that on the trigger itself, so definitely stay tuned for that. But I figured since this PDW just had a mil-spec trigger in it, I'd replace it with ours, and while we're out here on the range, we'll get some time with it and film that video. So here we go. First rounds. I'm gonna pop off one ear real quick, just want to see how it is. I mean, it's manageable. It's not like stupid quiet, but it's not stupid loud at all. Definitely, if I had to use it, you know, in the house, I think I'd be okay. But recoil, everything feels really good. Grouping's nice and tight. It's shooting a little low from where I was aiming, but we'll zero here in a second. But I didn't notice a crazy amount of gas. I stood pretty still. We got a little bit of wind out here, so that might be helping. But I mean, no burn to the eyes, no smell. Feels pretty good. I'm pretty stoked. I've been waiting for this. I talked with Radical, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago about this setup, and we'll go into the details and everything of how this came to be. But yeah, I like little like PDW, CQB, like this to me is like the gun you could easily hide in a bag if you're having to go somewhere where you need this type of weapon, or at your house for having it to go in and out of rooms. It's just very easy to maneuver. And our trigger as well. You guys know I like 2-stage triggers, and this one is no exception. We'll break it all down in a minute, but yeah, take up in the reset feels really good. Feels very comparable to other 2-stage triggers that I like running on the range, but at a much more affordable price point. And like I said, there'll be a full video on that, and we'll get into that. But I'm gonna have Gil and Landon hop up here, get their thoughts on both the platform, the suppressor, and the trigger, and we'll see what they think. All right, we got Landon up now, Radical MK1 with the XPD suppressor and the QVO 2-stage trigger. Let's check it out.
Dude, it's smooth. Like you said, there's no gas back in my face. A lot of people don't know when you add a can, there's a bunch of back pressure coming at you and you can't even see sometimes. Not to mention, for being such a short gun, consistent ejection all in the same spot for such a short dwell time. And that trigger is super crispy. I like it a lot.
So for our newer shooters, kind of explain with consistent ejection pattern, what does that mean?
It means the gun's properly gassed. You know, if you're gonna have something with a lot excess back pressure, it's gonna be kicking cases straight out in front of you. And it's not something you want. You're gonna have adverse wear on your parts internally. You're gonna have to keep changing them. If it's kicking them straight off my shoulder, that's telling me the gun's properly gassed and tuned with that can on there.
Nice. How'd the trigger feel?
Trigger's crispy, man. I actually really like, and I'm not a big two-stage trigger guy. You know, I've shot single stage all my life, but that's something I can get used to because the reset is super short. And how much are these gonna be?
It'd be 85 bucks.
Dude, that's shorter reset than Geisley. A couple other ones out there, man. You're gonna do pretty good with those triggers. I like it a lot.
All right, we got Gill up now, first rounds, Radical Defense MK1 PDW, and the QVO two-stage trigger. Go for it, bud. Gave him that angle to see that ejection pattern, very consistent like Landon was saying. How's it feel, man?
Man, overall, it's just super fun to shoot. It's compact, lightweight, easy to maneuver with, I would say so. But, I mean, it feels like almost shooting a little BB gun. It's so nice.
Any gas in your face?
No, no gas in my face. It was really good.
How's that trigger?
That trigger, man, I'm gonna buy like 2 or 3 of them because it was nice.
I'm digging it, man. Don't get me wrong, it's not like my favorite's like the Geisley SSAE or the Tricon. It's not one of those, but at the same time, it's 85 bucks.
Yeah.
All right, guys, with this being a nice compact PDW setup, of course, we are gonna run a very nice small optic, the new Holosun SCRS. I have it mounted up here on the ADM QD mount with their titanium QD handle. It works off of a 509T footprint, so I had a 509T ADM mount, so it kind of worked out perfectly and fits on there, as well as I had this gun done up by our buddy Vinny over at Monsoon Tactical, had it milled directly for a 509T footprint so we could put it up here. You're not supposed to do this per Holosun, but of course we're gonna try it. So don't worry, we're gonna get to that here in a second. But first we're gonna get this guy zeroed, bring the target back in from 50, then get this guy zeroed up, and we'll get on with this range day. So here we go, let's see where we're placing rounds. Cool, we'll go down, check it, and then get it zeroed up. All right, guys, so I had one flyer down here, but the rest of these guys are all up here. So we're actually pretty close to zero. Going center from these two, I'll probably go over 1 inch for sure. So 1 inch right. And then I'm not exactly sure on the elevation. It might be there, maybe 0.5 MO, or I'll measure that out, 0.5 up. But we're pretty dang close already. All right, guys, per the Holosun manual, the adjustments on the SCRS are 1 MOA. So 1 MOA at 50 yards is a 1/2 inch. So we were 1 inch needing to go to the right. So we'll actually go 2 clicks there. Two, and then we only need to come a 1/2 inch up, so we can actually do that now. Boom. Cool, we'll take our shots and see where we're at. Cool, we'll check it. All right, so definitely not a better, well, these are grouped here. I call those my outliers. It's kind of hard being just, you know, a mini red dot at 50 yards from my eyes anyway. But I'll make a couple more adjustments off of this and see if we can get closer to here. All right, definitely not making this easy on myself. I got 2 grouped at 1/2 inch here, and I got 2 grouped dead center 1/2 inch there. Guys, I'm gonna go with that. We're zeroed. Now, I am definitely happy with that 0. Guys, shooting 50 yards with a red dot only isn't the easiest for getting extremely accurate shots. So for us to be hitting dead center bullseye shots on the target, I will take that all day long. Now from here, we did get into some build drills with the rifle. I wanted to run the gun as fast as I could for a couple of reasons. The first was to ensure reliability and cycling with the gas system. The other was to run our new 2-stage trigger that we are coming out with. Since the Mark 1 comes with a nickel boron mil-spec trigger, which everyone has already used and seen before, I decided to install our trigger, which we could put through the paces and show everyone what they're going to be getting if they do purchase one from us on QVOtactical.com. We are not going to go all in depth to the trigger right now, as I do have a full video coming on that very soon, so definitely stay tuned for that.
Ready.
Total time 1.37, 6 shots. Best split 0.15, first shot 0.53.
Nice. About time I get a little bit of gas, nothing too crazy. Shooting this, like I said in studio, guys, just want to see how quick I can run the trigger that we put in here, our QVO 2-stage trigger. But on top of that, see things like this, how the gas is doing, how the optic is holding up with the mount, and yeah, just see if like the foreend's getting hot when we do rapid fire. I'm gonna do a couple more of these, see if I can get under 1 second, or at least a 1.25 on you, Gil.
Ready.
.12, 6 shots. Best split 0.13, first shot 0.37.
Nice. And coming over here, taking a look at these hits now. Kept everything alpha. Granted, guys, we're at maybe 7 yards. It's nothing super crazy. 1.59 total, 6 shots. Best split was a 0.15, and your first shot was a 6.5.
Let's clean it up.
Ready.
141, 6 shots, and best split 0.16. First shot was a 4.7. Got one more in you?
Yes, sir.
Ready.
.133 was the 6th shot, and 0.12 was your best split, and a 4.8. It recorded the mag dropping.
Oh, of course it did.
So
All A's. Oh, sorry. No.
almost.
That guy got away from me.
2 Charlies. It's still good. How's
No,
the
dude.
handguard? So that's what?
Warm.
Rapid fire of 6 build drills, so 6 times 36 rounds in a matter of like 3 minutes.
Handguard's getting a little bit warm, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Glove yet or no?
Yeah, definitely glove. Not as hot as the Jackal. But
Gotcha.
It's starting to get a little bit warm, but still shoots good. No gas in my face. It was clean the whole time.
Cool. Let it cool down for a second and have Gil try.
Yeah.
1.78, 0.14 is your best split. First shot was an 8.8. Let's go again.
Ready.
1.75 for 6 shots. 0.13 best split. First shot 0.84. Let's go one more.
Ready.
5 shots total, or no, sorry, 6 shots. 148. First shot was a 0.68. You're like, not again.
I was like, damn, 5 shots?
You got same as Landon, 2 Charlies, and everything else alpha. How's the handguard right now? We let it cool down a little bit.
Yeah, it's getting a little hot, but it's good enough right now. I just gotta work on that cadence.
How's the trigger feel?
Feels good. Feels crisp, easy to use. But operator error on me.
So we were all definitely liking how the rifle was cycling and the very little amount of gas that was coming back to the face. That tells me that the system is gassed really well and that the suppressor is doing a great job of forcing a majority of that gas to go forward of the gun. Now, if you're curious about how we filmed this portion of the video with our shot times overlaid onto our footage, I'll explain it for you. We are using the SG shot timer from Shooters Global. This is a new timer that has come to market and easily has some of the coolest features that I've seen in a shot timer to date. In short, the shot timer syncs up with your smartphone and allows you to video record through your phone while having all of your split times and shot times overlaid directly onto your footage. It's a really cool tool that allows us to show you our hits and our speed in real time. So guys, if you'd like to get one of these shot timers, be sure to use our link down below in the video description and make sure to use our code QVOTactical, all one word, on their website. All right, the next thing that we did on the range was put a little distance between us and the steel target. We walked out to about 75 yards to see how well we could hit some C-zone steel from that distance with this compact setup. All right, guys, so I know there's gonna be people in the comment section already hating on the whole 6.5-inch barrel thing, so I kinda wanna address that right now. Two things. One, this gun isn't designed for long range stuff. It was designed specifically, it was mission specific to be used for CQB work, for clearing rooms. Additionally, we're out at 75 yards. I'm gonna shoot some C-zone steel and just make sure we're getting hits, and then we'll go out to 100 and do the same thing there. Pan out there for me, Gil, so they can see that C-zone with the white circle on it. If you have to zoom in, go for it. Got it?
Got it.
Cool. I smell the rain coming, so let's try to get a couple shots before we get poured on. Here we go. So 3 consecutive shots. It was easy to get on target. I am really digging this Holosun SCRS. It kind of, like I said earlier, fits its entire platform really well. We'll walk back 25 more yards to 100. I know you guys right now are like, oh, well, you know, the velocity at that distance is always like so much gone. I get it what you're saying, guys. But again, this was made for clearing rooms for CQB stuff, not for, you know, shooting in engagements at 100 plus yards. All right, range it out for us. Where are we at?
102.
So 102, yeah, so 100 yards. Just for shits and giggles, let's see if I'm getting hits. Cool. So we are getting consistent hits. I did throw a few. I mean, it's getting a little windy now, but 6.5-inch barrel, 100 yards, very doable. I mean, you could say everything you want about velocity and stuff, guys. I'm not going to go down there at 100 yards and stand in front of this. Are you?
Hell no.
So, but again, not what the gun was designed for. So if it's not for you, it's not for you. I really dig it. I made an 8.5-inch build that the entire internet like had a heart attack from. I got so much hate for that video, but I really dig these small little PDW setups. I think they're great for truck guns. They're great for teams that need, you know, this type of platform to be able to get in and maneuver. We'll talk about the stock system in studio, because here we were both all three of us were noticing that when you come up on gun, you do have to get really nice and tight, but that's because the gun it was designed for, you'd be wearing a plate carrier, so with that padding, it would bring in the length of pull to exactly where you want it. So the length of pull is a little short for me. I got to get nice and tight right here when I'm taking these shots, but still very manageable, very doable. Landon getting 100-yard shots with a 6.5-inch barrel.
That wind does push you around.
Yeah.
I can use one excuse today. But dude, it's more than capable. A lot of people will talk trash about short barrel 5.56 guns, but like you said, that's a really small silhouette at 100 yards, and it's just making it happen over and over again. If it's slipping shots, that's just me pulling it off target.
Now, the last thing I wanted to do before we left the range was a little bit of sound comparison with a suppressor. We all know that the 223 5.56 round is somewhat of a difficult round to suppress. With that being said, I think that we were all still very surprised at how well the setup did mitigate the sound. All right, guys, a little windy, a little rainy, but we're gonna do this part of the video right now. So I know that people are gonna be asking like, hey, what's the sound suppression really like with a 6.5-inch AR and then, you know, a short 3D printed can? So to kind of like give you guys a better idea, I did bring out my 300 blackout build that also uses another Radical can, their previous model, the Sinter. This is a 10.5-inch 300 blackout with a longer 3D printed can, and this is a shorter 6.5-inch 223 with a shorter can. So already you guys should be expecting this gun to be louder, which it is, spoiler alert. However, I wanted to do our best to record on camera. The microphone's right here in my shirt, so you'll be able to pick it up from the shooter's perspective, and we'll see how much we get on camera. So we are surprised, because I'll just say this now, it's not as big of a difference as we thought it was going to be. I think it should be like 2 to 3 times louder than what it is compared to this. So we'll shoot 3 rounds out of 300 blackout first. That way you guys can get a feel for what I'm talking about. And I'll go directly into the 55 grain 223 and shoot it out of the Mark 1 R&D with the XPD can. Here we go. 300 blackout with the center can. And now the 5.56 shorter can. So definitely, I do notice like more of like a blast sound.
Tone.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Like this is obviously softer. This is also tuned with some stuff from Geisley, so definitely softer shooting and stuff like that. But like this, we were talking earlier, like would I use this in my house? Yeah, all day long. I would take this over not being suppressed and I'd be fine. Would I go all day in a class with no hearing protection on this? Probably not. I mean, it would probably give me like the same feel of like leaving a loud concert is what I would kind of compare it to. But in my opinion, like for what it's supposed to do, it's like,
Comfortable.
yeah,
It definitely is comfortable.
it's not pushing past that threshold of where, oh, I'm feeling my ears hurt or ring. Again, it's not anywhere near as quiet as a 300 blackout, you know, subsonic round. These are 220 grain, 300 blackout rounds. These are 55 grain 223 rounds. So, I mean, what are your thoughts, Landon?
Yeah, you're never gonna truly suppress 5.56 to like whisper quiet, because that's what 300 blackout was designed to do.
You can get the 112 grain atomic subsonic rounds.
You're gonna have to put me on those because I've never
But
seen them in my life.
back pre-COVID, they were like $1.12 a round. I used to buy them from Mikey, but I don't even know if he's making them anymore. But those, we did a video a long time ago. Those are just as quiet as 300 blackout, which is super cool.
We'll have to see those in the future, but you know, off the shelf 55 grain stuff, this is comfortable.
Yeah.
For the size and the weight of this can on this, imagine if somebody's running just a flash hider on it. You would blow your eardrums out. This makes it possible to use it in the home, like you were saying.
And I know, guys, you're probably saying, yeah, obviously, yeah, that's what we're saying. Obviously, that's what the can's supposed to do. Our whole thing is, we know that a lot of people are going to be like, yo, it's a very short setup. It's a very short platform, 6.5 inch barrel with an even, you know, shorter can and a small handguard. But guys, for everything it's doing, like we are probably around 300 rounds right now with all the drills that we've shot. Not a single malfunction yet. And you know, the only con that I have so far is that when we ran, you know, what, 8 consecutive build drills, the gun got a little hot.
Just a little warm, but nothing too crazy.
But that's it to be expected. So,
and even too, not a lot of flash coming off of a short barrel. Not too much, you know.
yeah, I'd probably have to go shoot at night to really give you guys that take. I don't plan on going to a night shoot with this anytime soon, so we'll have to do that in the future, maybe like on a YouTube short or something. But I do know people are going to ask, like, hey, how's the sound suppression compared to something else? I figured, you know, try to keep it in the same brand, so I brought out my Radical center can with the new, I believe it's called, again, I always forget the names, but it's, yeah, XPD. So very similar cans. This one is a little more narrow. I do like the aesthetic. I like the 3D printed titanium stuff, and yeah, like, this is, if you guys ever watched that 8.5 inch backpack gun build I did, this was kind of what I was trying to go for. So yeah, I'm digging it.
No, I'm digging it, man. Flow through cans of the future. Minimal back pressure coming back. We did a couple mag dumps and I could still see, breathe, all that good stuff. Setup is nice, man.
Cool. Now, before hopping off the range, I had both Landon and Gil give their overall thoughts on this Mark 1 PDW. All right, Landon, before we head off the range, I want to get your final thoughts. Radical Defense, Mark 1 PDW, 6.5 inch, 5.56 with their 7 inch 3D printed XPD suppressor. Your thoughts with the talking mag, go for it.
So final impressions, man, that gun's...
We can go over there.
Yeah.
I know you like to be hands-on.
Let's do that. So this whole setup, I'm pretty sure you said comes with the can, these Griffin sights, their charging handle. Dramatic effect, but I'm gonna stay focused. The can's dope, man. For $2,000, this is a sweet package deal. Not a whole lot of back pressure coming back. It's an easy gun to shoot, and it's super lightweight.
Yeah, so the whole gun in its configuration as an SPR with the suppressor, the Griffin armament backup irons, and the PDW stock, and it comes with the
B5 grip. Yeah, and that's kind of smoking everybody else on the market for what you get. You know, out of the box, it's really ready to run. It is a 2-stem gun. Understand that. You're gonna have to wait, but in my opinion, it's worth it. Yeah.
So overall thoughts, I mean, just like Lance said, it's super lightweight, super fun to shoot. I do like how the gas doesn't blow back in your face like he was saying, but super fun gun to shoot.
All right, guys, now for my overall thoughts on the whole platform. This project was initially designed for a SWAT team, and they wanted to replace their MP5s with a platform similar in size, but using 223.556. I think that's exactly what Radical Defense has done. And on top of that, guys, they designed a well-functioning compact PDW that comes suppressed right out of the box. Things that really stood out for me were the gas system and the sound suppression. When I first saw the setup at SHOT Show, I immediately thought that it was going to be extremely loud, and I thought I would be dealing with a lot of gas in my face during the entire range session. As you can see from the range footage, it was quite the opposite, and we were all pleasantly surprised. I really like the accuracy that we got out of the small barrel at 50 yards, and you definitely get more confidence with the platform when you take standing shots at 100 yards with consistent hits as well. Now, the new Holosun STRS is a perfect pairing optic for this compact PDW. We do have a full video coming out on just that optic alone, and yes, we also put a handgun on it, so stay tuned for that video. Now, with this being a 2-stamp gun, I know it's not going to be for everyone. However, if you are looking for a PDW package that pretty much has it all and at a very good price point, this is probably what you want to pick up. In my opinion, Radical Defense has definitely stepped up their game in the last couple of years, and I'm liking what they're putting out. The entire Mark 1 line has everything from a PDW rifle to a patrol rifle, and they even have a DMR configuration. Hopefully we can see some of those on the channel as well for you guys. If that's something that you would like to see or you're interested in, please let us know down below in the comments section. Now, we've talked about all of the pros. Let's go over a couple of the cons. The first thing for me is the trigger, and that's just personal preference. I like 2-stage triggers, especially ones that have a 2.5 pound wall. So for me, the included nickel boron trigger just felt like any other standard mil-spec trigger. A little on the heavier side, but I'm sure that was probably an agency requirement when this build first came to fruition. This did give us the opportunity to run our QVO 2-stage trigger that we're going to be offering on our website very soon. So like I said earlier in the video, just stay tuned for that video. It hopefully will be coming out sooner than later. My only other gripe is the length of pull on the buttstock. Again, this rifle was originally designed to be used with a plate carrier, so that would make the length of pull exactly where I wanted it if I had a carrier on, because the padding on the strap would most likely be what is engaging that stock, which changes the length of pull if I just don't have a plate carrier on. I do, however, just wish that the Vert PDW stock, I wish it had 1 or 2 more additional positions. Now, like we said on the range, the rifle did get a little warm when doing repeated drills or mag dumps. With the suppressor being slightly recessed in the rail, I did expect this. Like Landon said on the range though, it didn't get as hot as some other guns that we have reviewed recently, but it was noticeable. Well, everyone, that's going to wrap up this review of the Radical Defense Mark 1 PDW. We hope that you guys all enjoyed the video, and a big shout out to the Radical Defense team on the new Mark 1 line. I definitely appreciate when companies listen to their customer base and deliver a product that functions well at an affordable price. We also appreciate you guys checking out the video, so please be sure to like the video down below and subscribe to the channel, especially if you're new here, because guys, we post new videos every week, and that takes a lot of time and effort, so we appreciate you watching. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, we'll see you in the next one. All right, Gil, your thoughts on the Radical Defense Mark 1?
Is that my little Thor moment there?
Yeah.